Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. We were all raised in one big illusion. We were conditioned to believe that the world around us is something solid, stable, and real. We were told, this table is wood, this wall is brick, your body is flesh and bone. We are used to relying on matter, considering it the foundation of everything. But over the last 100 years, physics has looked behind the scenes so deeply that scientists' legs are still shaking from what they saw. Do you know what they found there? Nothing. Or more accurately, nothing solid. Everything you consider matter is 99.9% empty space. If you removed all the empty space from the atoms of every person on the planet, all of humanity would fit into the volume of a single apple. This is a scientific fact. What you feel under your hands right now, what you are leaning on, is not density. It is electrical resistance. You have never touched a single object in your life. The electrons in your hand simply repel the electrons of the chair or the table. We live in a global tactile hallucination that our brain interprets as a solid world. The world is not an object. The world is a rendering process. What you see before you is not a static set. It is a data stream that the video card in your head turns into a picture in real time. We are used to the idea that the world exists on its own, even when we sleep or when we are gone. But science says otherwise. The universe behaves like a modern computer game. It does not waste resources rendering what no one is looking at currently. 7 scientific facts today. I will present to you 7 scientific facts officially published in peer-reviewed journals. This is data for which Nobel Prizes were awarded, verified for decades in laboratories worldwide, from CERN to MIT. No magic, only physics. Fact 1. The Double-Slit Experiment. The first fact that started the collapse of the old world is the famous Double-Slit Experiment. Many have heard of it, but few have realized its truly terrifying depth. The essence is simple. Physicists fire an elementary particle like an electron through a screen with 2 slits. According to the logic of our solid world, the electron should pass through either the left slit or the right slit, like a tiny tennis ball. But the electron behaves differently. As long as we do not try to determine its specific path, it passes through both slits simultaneously. It behaves like a wave, like ripples on water, passing through all obstacles at once and creating a complex pattern of stripes on the final detector screen. This state is called superposition. The particle is in all possible points of space at once. It is a pure cloud of probabilities. The observer effect. Here any sane person asks, wait, if this is an experiment, the scientists are standing there watching anyway. How is it that in one case they observe and see a particle, and in another, they don't observe and see a wave? Do they leave the room to drink coffee? Let's break down the mechanics. When the electron is not being watched, scientists leave the setup to work autonomously. The final result is still recorded on the back screen, either stripes, a wave, or 2 points, a particle. In the first scenario, scientists do not place measuring devices at the slits. They just fire the gun and look at the final result on the back wall. As long as there is no device recording exactly which hole the electron flew through, the system remains in a wave state. But the moment scientists add just one element, a measuring device, a detector, right at the slits, reality instantly collapses. The electron immediately becomes a solid ball. It stops being a wave and passes through only one slit. Remove the device. It's a wave again. Install it. It's a particle. The secret of information. And here lies the main secret. What is an observer in physics? Many think it's a person in a white coat looking with their eyes. But at the quantum level, observation is measurement. To see an electron at the slit, a device must interact with it. For example, by sending a photon of light to bounce off the electron and return to the sensor. Scientists wondered, is it about physical impact? Does the device just shove the electrons like a billiard ball? To rule this out, physicists conducted a brilliant test. They set up detectors that recorded the electron's passage, but did not transmit the data to a human. Or they used entangled particles, where one electron wasn't touched at all, but its twin was measured. The result shocked the world. Matter doesn't care about the physical touch of the device. Reality reacts not to the camera's nudge, but to the availability of information in the system. If the fundamental possibility to know which path an object chose appears in the universe's database, that object instantly becomes a solid fact. If the information is erased or inaccessible, the object does not exist in one point. It remains a cloud of possibilities. Particles feel the very fact that information about them can be obtained. The conclusion: there is no objective reality existing on its own. The universe is not a warehouse of finished goods. It is an ocean of potential probabilities that turns into a solid fact only when a request for measurement appears in the system. As long as you don't fix your life with rigid attention and expectations, it is a wave with thousands of paths. But the moment you set up your device, your old beliefs and fears, you force the energy to freeze into a single form. You aren't just looking at the world, you are measuring it, forcing the pixels of reality to manifest exactly where you are used to seeing them. Fact 2. The delayed choice quantum eraser. If the previous experiment made you doubt the solidity of the world, this one will destroy your perception of time. Physicist John Wheeler proposed a theory in 1979, later confirmed in laboratories like the Institut d'Optique in Orsay. This is the delayed choice quantum eraser. The essence is that a particle has already flown through an obstacle. The past seemingly has happened, but scientists decide to look at it after it has completed its journey, and reality changes retroactively. Let's apply this to life. We think the past is a hard drive where everything is recorded. In 2010, I failed a project. A loved one betrayed me. I made a mistake. We carry this load, thinking it's an unchangeable foundation. But quantum physics says, your past is not a recording. It is a file being rendered based on your current request. If you wake up today in a victim state, the system instantly pulls all the evidence from your past that life is unfair to you. Your yesterday is literally rewritten under your current gloomy gaze. You remember only the grievances, and these events in your field become solid particles defining your destiny. But the moment you change your state in the now, when you decide that you are the creator, the quantum eraser effect occurs. You begin to see the same past events from a different angle, and they magically change their structure. That very mistake from 2010 suddenly turns out not to be a failure but a necessary lesson, without which you wouldn't have become yourself. The information about the event has changed, and your past has retroactively become a wave of new possibilities rather than a concrete slab. Remember, the matrix does not store history as something immutable. It generates it based on your current request. Your yesterday is plasticine. If you change your state and your worldview today, the system rewrites your backstory, highlighting other facts and erasing old settings. Your now is the only moment where both the future and the past are created simultaneously. As soon as you stop measuring yourself with old rulers, your past stops limiting you. The universe always reserves the right to change the script if the director, you, decides to change the film's genre from drama to triumph. You literally possess the quantum eraser. Use it. Fact 3. Quantum entanglement and the illusion of distance. The third fact will finally shatter your logic. In 1982, physicist Alain Aspect in Paris conducted an experiment for which the Nobel Prize was officially awarded in 2022. This is the proof of quantum entanglement. Scientists take two particles and entangle them. How does this work in plain language? Imagine a special crystal through which a laser beam is passed. Inside this crystal, a single photon of light splits into two. Because they were born in the same instant from a single parent, they become quantum twins. They share one destiny and a common passport in the universe's database. Then, these particles are separated. Distance does not matter. It can be a meter, a kilometer, or opposite ends of the galaxy. In the classical world, these are two different things. But in the quantum world, they are still one object. If you change the state of one particle, the second one changes instantly, without wires, without a radio signal, without a delay for information travel. It happens faster than the speed of light. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance and refused to believe it until the end because it destroyed all his concepts of space. But the Nobel Committee confirmed, this is reality. The illusion of the interface. Space between them simply does not exist. In your life, this works even more directly and ruthlessly. Have you ever wondered why you think of a person you haven't seen in years, and a minute later they call you? Or why a mother feels her child is in trouble, even if oceans separate them? We are used to thinking we are separate islands, that I am here and you are there. But at the quantum level, there is no separation. If you have ever entangled with someone through intense love, shared pain, or even a prolonged conflict, you cease to be separate objects. You became a single system. The space between you is just a rendering effect, a pretty picture so that life doesn't seem so terrifying. In the universe's database, there are no kilometers. There are only connections. This means your internal state is instantly broadcast to everyone you are entangled with. You don't need to reach a person through words or messages. As soon as you change your internal charge, your spin, the one connected to you feels it in that same second. The conclusion. Separation is an interface illusion. You are not a point in space. You are part of a giant neural network of reality. If you want to change someone's attitude toward you, it is useless to run across distances and try to prove something physically. It is enough to change the setting of your own receiver. In the quantum world, there is no far away. There is only being in resonance or not. You influence everything and everyone by the mere fact of your state, because in the code of the matrix, you were never separated to begin with. Fact 4. The holographic universe. In 1993, two prominent physicists, Leonard Susskind and Gerard T. Hooft, formulated the holographic principle. In 2017, an international team of scientists confirmed it. Our universe is very likely a giant hologram. What does this mean for us? Imagine a standard credit card with a flat, shiny holographic sticker. It is completely flat, containing only a clever code. But when you tilt it under the light, you see a 3D image. The volume is an illusion of light. All the information about that object is recorded on a flat surface. Physicists have proven that everything we see, stars, planets, your apartment, and your own body, is a 3D projection broadcast from a 2D screen located at the very edge of the universe. Look at your hands. They seem voluminous, solid, and present here. But according to the holographic principle, you are merely the result of rendering data recorded somewhere on the boundary of space. Your entire world is an image on a monitor. It's just that this monitor is so perfect that you can feel the smell of coffee and the pain in your knee. The conclusion. Remember, you do not live inside the universe. You are an image projected from an information field. If you don't like the movie playing on a cinema screen, it is useless to walk up to the canvas and try to paint over the character. You must go to the projection booth and change the film. The depth of space and the solidity of objects are just special effects for your immersion in the game. Your debts, illnesses, and problems are part of the picture. To change them, stop fighting the projection. Change the code at the source, your consciousness. It is the laser beam that turns flat information into your real life. Fact 5. The quantum tunnel inside you. In the macroscopic world, to overcome an obstacle, you need energy. If there is a wall, you cannot pass through it until you break it or jump over it. But in the quantum world, a particle can simply disappear from one side of a barrier and appear on the other, even if it lacks the energy to make the leap. It literally leaks through impenetrable walls. This is called tunneling. Your body uses this matrix cheat code constantly. Your enzymes, tiny builders inside your cells, work millions of times faster than they should according to the laws of chemistry. They force electrons and protons to tunnel through energy barriers. Without this effect, your breathing, digestion, and DNA function would be impossible. Furthermore, quantum tunneling of protons in DNA is responsible for sudden mutations. It is the moment a particle jumps to a different spot in your code simply because, in the quantum world, there are no barriers for it. Your evolution and your ability to heal are the results of your cells literally walking through walls. Fact 6. Quantum navigation and superposition. Biologists long wondered how migratory birds find their way across thousands of kilometers of ocean with pinpoint accuracy. It turns out the bird sees the Earth's magnetic field thanks to quantum-entangled electrons in its retina. A digital interface is literally overlaid on its reality. But the most powerful example is photosynthesis. A plant absorbs a quantum of light, a photon, which must reach the reaction center of the leaf to become energy. In a classical world, it would get lost. But in 2007, it was proven. The photon enters a state of superposition. It becomes a wave and tests all paths simultaneously. It finds the shortest route and only then collapses into the result. This is why photosynthesis efficiency is nearly 100%. Nature doesn't guess. It uses a quantum calculation of all variants at once. The conclusion: life is not just biochemistry. It is a quantum process in its purest form. You are a high-order quantum object. If a simple leaf can calculate all paths through superposition to choose the best one, imagine what your brain is capable of if you stop trapping it within the limits of solid logic. You are built on algorithms that allow you to choose the optimal reality from an infinite noise of possibilities. Fact 7. The end of the micro-macro border. In 1999, physicist Anton Zeilinger at the University of Vienna conducted an experiment that finally erased the border between the micro-world and our reality. He took a fullerene molecule, a massive structure of 60 carbon atoms shaped like a soccer ball. This is a tangible object that can be seen under an electron microscope. According to old physics, this ball should behave predictably, but when it was fired through slits, it showed the same interference pattern as a tiny electron. It passed through 2 slits simultaneously. This heavy, physical object existed in a state of superposition. Later, this was repeated with molecules containing thousands of atoms. This is scientific proof that superposition is not a quantum exotic for tiny particles. It is a fundamental property of all matter, including your body, your house, and your money. Until it is measured, nothing has a fixed state. The power of the observer. Let's apply this to your daily life. It means that right now, in this second, all scenarios potentially exist in the field of your life simultaneously. You are simultaneously perfectly healthy and hopelessly ill. You already own your dream home and are simultaneously at a dead end. All these versions of you are equal probability waves vibrating in space. Why do you see only one, often unpleasant, scenario? Because the observer enters the game. Your consciousness is the measuring device. The moment you direct your attention to your life through the filter of old beliefs and fears, you cause the collapse of the wave function. You personally force this infinite cloud of chances to collapse into a single, solid, gray reality. The final conclusion: you observe, and reality freezes into a point. You look away, and the world becomes an ocean of chances again. Your attention is not just a way of looking, it is a command to the system. Render this specific branch of destiny. You are not a spectator forced to watch a boring drama. You are the server administrator choosing which file to run on the screen. If you don't like the image of your life, stop measuring it with old rulers. Loosen your grip. Let reality become a wave again. Give the system the right to perform a miracle, and from that cloud of infinite possibilities, you will manifest the reality worthy of your true self. Thank you for being with me on this channel. I wish you the best possible branch of reality. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.